name is Matthew Deery. I hope you're all doing well. I'm actually coming to you today wearing this mask, not because of social distancing or going out in public, but because I am actually doing sanding and staining this wonderful play structure for my children. It's used, we got it from our neighbor. It had splinters and it was dirty, so we power washed it. Now we're on to sanding it, staining it. Stay tuned. So my two oldest kids go to daycare 2 days a week, and today is one of those days. And this is definitely not how I want to spend my emancipation from them. It's been on my to-do list for a long time, so I'm gonna make the best of it. I got my coffee, I got my mask. Let's go. The purpose of this video is not just to show you working on this treehouse for my kids, but to talk a little bit about happiness and what's the difference between happy people and unhappy people. My church, Crossroads Church, is currently going through a sermon series called Chasing Happy, and they're talking about really being able to have happiness in your lives and what is the difference in mindset between happy people and unhappy people. And that kind of inspired me to do a message regarding that, and what better way to do it than showcase me doing something that I really don't want to do, which is staining, because staining is just not fun. In situations like this, I always try and have a positive attitude, find the silver lining in what I'm doing. And a situation like this, I'm getting the play set ready for my kids, and so I'm using my time and my skills to serve them so they can have a place to play on. It's a beautiful day outside, so I get an opportunity to be outside. My business has been drastically affected by COVID, and despite that not being awesome, if that wouldn't have happened, I probably wouldn't have time to do this. So kind of looking at that in a positive light, and really just being able to get things done around the house. I mean, I've had a honey-do list that's been pretty long, and despite losing work not being awesome, it is nice to be able to get some of these things done. So, it's always important to try and find the positive elements within anything that you're doing, and that's definitely what I'm trying to do here today. The sermon I just heard from Phil Print, the pastor at Crossroads, talked about how Yale University, one of the oldest and most prestigious universities in the entire world, been around for over 300 years, their most popular class in the history of the university is about finding and sustaining happiness. Even crazier than that is recent surveys have said that 1 out of every 3 Americans is happy. 1 out of 3. 2 out of every 3. 66% of us are walking around unhappy with our lives. I'm not going to use this video to preach to you per se, or even just try and make you think that after this video concludes, if you watch it all, that all of a sudden you're going to be a happy person. But even just to put something in your mind to know that a different mindset can change how you look at the world and your circumstances within the world. Do you know that 1 out of every 10 people in this world, almost 1 billion people, like 780 million or something like that, deal with food insecurity? I'm guessing anybody with access to a computer and watching this video don't have issues with food insecurity. I mean, even that alone is a blessing. And so people have to kind of change your mindset to know that, there are always things to be thankful for within a pandemic, or, the highest highs of your life or the lowest lows. And you're going to realize in life that there are mountains and there are valleys, and some are speed bumps and some are mountains you're going to have to climb of adversity. And there's just so many good things that you can take out of every situation. And even though it's hard, and I'm not always happy, I've had many, many trials in my life, from, struggling to, I recently got laid off and have been working to build my own business. And there's been many struggles with owning your own company. I mean, anybody who does own their own company and has to act as, wear so many different hats within their own company, know that it is so hard. I dealt with my son Calvin, my second born, was born with a disease, and he had to have 2 surgeries in the first 4 months of his life, and it was really hard to remain positive then. But now looking back, there's so much positive that we gain from that. And some of it is just my wife and I became stronger people from it. And it's hard to always see the silver lining when you're in it, but there's so much that you can do mentally to kind of change your mental makeup to be a happier person. So this message is obviously a little bit more on the inspirational side with this channel. I hope to inspire and inform and create some really fun stuff. And so if you took anything from this message, I hope you would consider subscribing. Definitely like this video. I appreciate you taking the time to watch with me and continue with me on this journey. Let me get back to work. Jim Carrey also had a really great statement on happiness, and I've heard him say it in various ways throughout the years, that he wishes everybody could get rich and famous and do everything they've ever wanted to do, and then they would realize that it's not the answer. Jim Carrey, spoken from a man of great wealth and success, even he is saying that his happiness cannot be derived from those things. The biggest difference between happy and unhappy people is the way that they think. Happiness is not about your circumstances. It's about thinking the right way and doing the right things. Like I said before, everybody in their lives is going to experience trials and tribulations, things that are going to challenge you, things that are going to devastate you, things that are going to elate you, things that are going to change your life. And every single person along the way has to decide how they are going to embrace that. Either it's going to be woe is me and my life is destroyed, or this is going to make me stronger. There's a TED Talk about one of the strongest traits or the most prominent traits of success is not intelligence or circumstance. It's really about perseverance. And the people who can persevere are the people who can be happy. The people who can persevere through lowly circumstances are people that can be happy. And thinking about it in that mindset where you have trials and you have challenges, you realize that this is all just a way to forge a stronger you. And so a lot of people think when they're down or when things aren't going well, or even just in their normal day-to-day life, they think, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll be happy when I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I'll be happy when I have a kid. I'll be happy when the sickness is gone, when the pandemic is over. I'll be happy when is not living in the moment and not enjoying your life for today. The I'll be happy when type of mentality means that you're only going to be happy when you reach your destination and not necessarily going to be happy along the journey. And the journey is part of the fun. And the destination itself, as many people, like I just said with Jim Carrey, a lot of times when you arrive there, you realize that the destination doesn't make you happy anyway. And it's not about just the end goal. It's about being happy in your circumstances. And one of the main differences between happy people and unhappy people is happy people don't chase happy. It's elusive. You'll never catch it. You will never catch happy. It's one of those things where, you can say, I'm going to be happy when. Like, you're never going to catch that, because then there's always going to be the next thing that you're going to chase after. And so when you're always saying that, you're chasing something that you'll never get, which therefore means you will never be happy. So for me, happiness is a byproduct of this way of thinking, of finding ways to appreciate even the smallest things, even in some of the worst circumstances, like job loss or the economy going under. I mean, there are things to be thankful for. I mean, whether that be, more time to spend with your friends and family, whether that be, at home or through Zoom, or, opportunities to pursue creative endeavors now that work has kind of slowed down or subsided, and kind of finding ways to take the good from any sort of bad situation. And for me personally, I mean, I always have this little piece of happiness that I know that I have salvation through Jesus Christ. And not everybody necessarily strives to have that relationship, but for me, that's an easy thing to be thankful for each and every day. And if you're not one of those people, that's totally fine, but you yourself have something to be happy about and something to be thankful for, no matter what your circumstances are. And it's about finding those and focusing on those and not chasing after what the next thing is that could make you happy. Another thing that I know contributes to my happiness is taking care of my mind and taking care of my body. I mean, I'm not in the best shape, but I like to lift and work out, and in the summertime I love playing softball. It's one of my favorite activities, and so staying active and as well as taking care of my mind, like reading, having other hobbies that aren't just staring at screens. I mean, I work in video production and I love to watch movies, but I don't just stare at screens all the time. Putting good stuff into your mind and body is good for your health and good for your mental well-being and good for your happiness. So find ways to stay active, whether that's being, going for walks or running or bike riding or running around with your kids. And, find other ways, and other activities to stimulate your mind that is not a screen. My wife and I, during the quarantine, just started doing puzzles and playing cribbage. Her and I have played cribbage before, but we're kind of just picking it back up and finding something to do besides just turn on Netflix at the end of the day after our kids go to sleep. So again, kind of doing other activities and other hobbies that aren't just staring at a screen. And so keep that in mind when you're thinking about happiness, is what you're putting in is what you're going to get out. And just like that, the playset is finally done. I'm so happy to get that checked off my to-do list. I have stain all over, I smell, but I am so grateful to finally get this done. And with that also concludes this video. I hope that you found something inspiring or insightful from it, because aside from the pandemic that we have going on in this world, we have an epidemic going on in this country, and it's that 2/3 of us are walking around unhappy with our lives. And I'm hoping that I can help change that, and share this video, and hopefully we can change some of those unhappy people. If you're a happy person, what are some of the ways that you continue to maintain your happiness? Make sure you share that with people that seem to be struggling, because we should try our hardest to change that so people can be happy. You can't chase happy. You have to find happiness in your circumstances, and we all have something to be happy for. I'm glad that you took the time to watch this video and hang out with me. I will see you on the next one.
Try.